I have a question, and Mr. Brigand, I apologize. I have not been copying you on emails. So, Mr. Severi, maybe I'll ask you, but maybe Ms. Brigand. I was actually really shocked to see this document, which again is supposedly our accounts payable document, is a Word document. No traceability, no tracking, no date of when it was adopted, if it's ever been revised. Again, coming from any industry that has, especially again financials. In a previous life, I was again an auditor for a financial institution. The idea that we would have an editable Word document as important as our accounts payable raises red flags. So is this a standard practice that we have multiple policies and procedures that we follow around this stuff that's just editable Word documents?
We have various versions, right? So, we provided Mr. Silveri a Word document. I mean, there is a PDF version as well.
But I'm asking specifically, like you said, multiple versions. So does it have the date on it, version 1, when it was adopted? Because that's what's missing from this Word document is any traceability to say when this went into effect, what time period. Does the PDF have that, or does it look like this one?
The PDF likely mirrors the Word document there. It would be part of, the request was, as I understood it from Mr. Silveri, was for specific pieces of how we do things, right? So there's a date. I believe it's all part of that full document. There's not single, like a date for every single piece of that process, right? So if we're talking about accounts payable versus how we do everything from purchase orders to accounts payable, that there's a date for that document, but I don't believe there's a date to say we changed, like a board policy, we changed this board policy specific to this on this date, and then we update it to this on that date.
So I have two follows real quick. So one, I would say, I see what you're saying. So, but if the accounts payable, if that process changes, there absolutely should be some documentation that shows when we changed it and how we changed it, what the old policy was, what the new policy was, or what process we're following. But I think the larger one of what I'm hearing through this conversation is, this again is where it's been pretty clear, and I think Trustee LeCou's made it pretty clear. She wants to understand the whole entire process. So here again, we have it being conveyed to you that we just want to just copy and paste a page out of a policy. Worst case, provide the whole thing. Again, if we're making requests, flood us with it. Make us do the work. But I think this is what's going on. We're asking questions, and then we get the responses, well, you didn't like the answer. Well, it's because you didn't answer the question that was being asked. But this idea of like, and again, Mr. McDaniel, this is where I feel like you're catching the brunt of it because you're just getting it secondhand, and you're trying to fulfill what your boss is asking you to do. But ultimately, Mr. Silveri, just start answering the questions that we're asking. And if we're asking for a policy or accounts payable and it's a huge document, send the full document. Stop trying to decide what we are asking and just answer the questions and provide what we are asking for, which has been provided to you, is required under our board handbook. Every time you do not fulfill a request, you are violating our board handbook, which again, the majority of the board will turn the eye and look the other way. But end of the day, that is true. It's a factual statement. So I think in a lot of these cases, we could read a lot of this noise. This whole conversation we've had all night tonight would be done if just, again, whatever the policy or procedure is that you guys use for accounts payable and processing, send the whole thing. And we can look through it and we can decide what we can learn from it.
All right, board colleagues, I would like to move on.